did not do anything. As a matter of trust and communication to the public, is it not wise to step up and say that the following companies purported to have done this work in the following words? You table the names, companies versus the projects. And thereafter, we have, as my chair has been saying, we have good gentlemen and ladies of EACC hovering around to capture whoever might escape from the net, so that by now we are able to clean our books that these ones are genuine contractors who worked and these ones are musketeers and must be put where they belong. As been said, we have good gentlemen and ladies of EACC hovering around to capture whoever might escape from the net, so that by now we are able...
presented a balance sheet. You've not been presenting a balance sheet for the last 10 years. So in this financial year, you are dividing your assets and your liabilities. And your liabilities include these pending bills. The minute you capture them in your balance sheet, it's almost an admission that you owe that money. So just tie that balance sheet perspective to what Senator is asking about, even taking action on people who are putting in false claims. Governor?
Yeah, well, that's a very good proposal that my senator has given, that we have the document. It has not been easy, because in some instances where you'll go and the area member of county assembly says nothing was done just because of the politics. Then, you realize maybe it was done and they just want to disown, because we also involve them to assist us in verifying whatever we have. But once, the commitment I want to give is that once, like the chief officer has said, we establish the bona fide contractors, we shall be able to pay them. Those that are ghosts, we are going to expose them and hand them over to the relevant institution, including EACC, to make a follow-up.
Now let's deal with a number that cannot be in doubt, a payable that cannot be in doubt, and that is employee payables. You close the year owing employees 1.7 billion. Now your officer said that that was salary for May and June that was paid in July. Nonetheless, having paid May, June salaries and having provided a supplementary budget of 130 million, you still owe employees 549 million. 549 million, 60,066. How can we be owing employees such a colossal amount of money?
Chief?
Chair, whatever is appearing here, mostly it's the unremitted pension to the pension companies, and there is a provision in the budget of about 225 that will be paid. We inherited some unremitted pension, but we are paying gradually until we complete. We had an agreement with the lab fund and lab trust. We agreed to pay within 3 years to complete the date. When you talk of unremitted pension, can you paint for us a picture? Is this historical, or this is something that is building up every other month? It is historical. Auditor General, do you have a view? Because we really would want to know, what is this 549 million? Because there's some very criminal things that counties are doing. They are deducting money from employees and not remitting to the relevant institutions. And we must call it for what it is. You are stealing from your employees. You are also stealing from yourselves. And we need to properly drill down these numbers to be sure that this 549 is not something that is happening every other month. OAG, do you have those figures, or it's something that we might need to analyze further?
We need to give us time to do further analysis. We don't have that evidence.
But Governor, in terms of practice,
yes, sir,
are you up to date on your remittances to statutory or on statutory contributions?
We are up to date. What we are dealing with is 2020, 2021, and partly 2022. 2020.
Have you paid gratuities to staff of the former administration, those who ought to have been paid gratuities?
Chief.
Chair, we have not paid to all of them. There is a balance of there's a balance that is still hanging. That
Why?
we have.
Why? Because gratuity, the assumption is, as you process an employee's salary, there is an element that is supposed to go to an account, just like deposits and retentions, in the ideal case, so that when an employee exits service, they should not come begging.
Chair, from July 2023, we are current, but we are dealing with the previous non-remittance, which we are repaying.
No. What is the reason for not paying gratuity? Because someone rendered service, someone, some deductions were being made towards that employee's gratuity. What would be the reason why 3 years down the line you have not finalized payment of those obligations?
Chair, it's because of the budgetary provisions that we have. We may not be able.
What budgetary provision? Because gratuity cannot be something outstanding. When you process salary for that month, isn't there something that is deposited, ideally should be deposited into an account to pay for gratuity?
Chair, essentially what is supposed to happen, a salary is a package. You are supposed to pay someone's net, you are supposed to remit to the NSSF, NHIF, the pension schemes, and that's what we are doing currently. But previously, when we came to the office, we found that there was a lot of money that had not been remitted, but we are trying to clear it.
Just specifically, because Governor, I just want to take an example of how you are mistreating your employees, how counties are mistreating the people who work for them. Now, you have the unique situation of being you are out of the county for 5 years. I hope that the people who served with you in your first term, their gratuities were paid. Were they paid?
They were paid.
Were they paid on time?
That I can't tell you because I was out, but I know they were paid.
So what is the reason why the people who served with the former governor, their gratuities have not been paid 3 years down the line? Fully. Why? Because that's just a synopsis of the problems that are happening. Because if you are not up to date on gratuities, then you are not up to date on the other statutory remittances. Senator Wakoli?
Thank you, Chair. I want to bring to my governor and the chief officer up to speed. We have those who worked under you on contract from 2014. Those are tutors of the vocational training centers, and those are teachers of ECD who were on contract for 2014. And by 2017, they were confirmed to permanent, okay? And they are asking, and those others are the UHC guys who were on contract earlier and then transferred into permanent. They're asking, and you remember the UHC matter at the Senate, they are keeping asking, where is their gratuity? So this matter spans as far as 2014, coming to where we are. So I think you should be in a position to advise His Excellency of the gratuity that we owe the workers of Bungoma, and therefore give us a way forward on how we are going to sort out this matter of gratuity.
And let me also point out that the control of budget is sitting here. In principle, the control of budget is not going to approve your supplementary budget because that expenditure had already been approved. Governor, you see the difficulty you have. That at that time, whether you are sitting in the Senate or somewhere else, your officers made a requisition that included all these things. Then it was not done. If you go back to the control of budget to approve the same expenditure, she will reject it, and we support her. So how do we get out of this hole?
Chair.
Senator Cherage, maybe so that the governor
Maybe, Chair, on the issue of statutory reduction of 549 million, I'm worried when the OAG says they need to go back, because I think we need to make a resolution and order for investigation and prosecution by EACC, because that is theft. When you deduct, because this the statutory deduction as provided by the law, Chair, when you deduct the money and then you don't remit, that is stealing. So what we should be recommending as a committee, this 549 million that is on the books of financial statements of county is for investigation and prosecution for the officers concerned, because if I take the money that belongs to the employees and I don't remit to the statutory bodies, it is stealing. Even if you want to gloss it with different words, and I can see the bishop is smiling, gracious, accepting that even God does not agree with such way of stealing. So, Chair, let us recommend that the EACC picks up this matter of 549 million, prosecute individuals that took the remittance of the employees. Then this matter, the people will be held accountable as properly as it should be, Chair.
Yeah, individuals should be investigated and prosecuted, but people who offered service must be paid. Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
Senator Wakoli, then go on record, Senator Ambua, then we give the governor.
I want to ask, because our good chief officer, through the governor, knows that this matter of these amounts has been the talk of the town. And my good MCAs are here. I want, through the chair, to allow them to make a statement on this grievous matter, because these monies are appropriated at the county assembly. And if monies are being paid that people don't understand, then people must be courageous enough to either resign or be apprehended, because the people of Bungoma need this money for development. We can't be paying debts for what we don't know. So through the chair, those young men, MCAs, are able to shed light from the ground so that the people of Bungoma and the country understand the predicament they go through to pass such figures in the county assembly.
Senator Ambua, go on record.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Senator Enoch Wambua from Kitui County and a member of this committee. Chair, just make a comment on what I found you deliberating on. I hear two things. One, money has been requisitioned from the controller of budget, and money has been released, and money has been deducted for statutory remittances, but the remittance has not been made. It's a serious matter. I mean, I would rather have a conversation about the money was never received, and so he paid salary minus the statutory deductions. But if the money was actually deducted and not remitted, then there is a serious problem. But I will find my balance as we go on.
Fine, Governor.
Yeah, I want to agree. Like we have said, I'm up to date, and I want to support. If somebody did not pay, just take action. I support that fully, because I agree with you that if somebody has worked and the money was deducted and they never paid, those who did not pay are alive. They can be prosecuted. I support that provision, because from where I sit and the report I have, we are up to date. And even in our supplementary budget, we have given a provision of 130,500,000 towards emoluments, and it's going to cater for some of those outstanding things. But those who never remitted, who, if the money was paid and they worked and was not remitted, I support the decision of the Senate. Thank you, Chair.
Now, Governor, you are not also helping us, because yes, we can pursue the investigation and prosecution, but someone somewhere is getting auctioned. Someone somewhere, the children cannot go to school because the SACCO contributions were not sent, or that the loan repayment was not sent, or that the premium for the individual education plan was not remitted.
Chair, so what do you want me to do? I have said I am up to date. I have said the Senate's decision to follow those who never did what they were supposed to do is right. That is the much I can do, so that they serve as an example of those who don't do the right thing.
Governor, to that extent, we're on the same page.
Yes.
Think about your employees.
I am.
You don't just tell us, you pursue those people and investigate them and prosecute them.
Chair.
I am giving you a live example. And you know, you are making people not want to work for county governments. Because if you're going to work for a county government and collectively 549 million is owed to you and the people you work with, money that was taken from you, it's not like these employees paid themselves that amount. Money that was taken from the coffers, the control of budget has approved that requisition. And then collectively 549 million is not attributed to the respective employees. Yes, we shall recommend investigations. We shall recommend prosecution. But you are going back to Bungoma. What action are you going to do to make sure that this 549 million that is verifiable is released to the staff?
Chair,
Because that is your job. And that's why you left us in the Senate to go back to the county.
Chair, I hope you are not just addressing me because I've said I am up to date. Whatever that we are talking about was done when I was not there. But of course, I'm the one in the office at the moment. So as far as I'm concerned, I am up to date and I agree with you. We are on the same page like you have said, that we must pay, and that's why I've made sure that my officers pay, and that's why we're up to date. And we have given a provision of 130,500,000 for any outstanding that will still be there to be able to sort it out. So we are on the same page. I agree that it's not fair.
Okay, Senator Dulo, then Senator...
Yeah, I just want to ask Governor, you are saying this matter was for previous regime. When you came in, of course, it was on your table. Have you taken any action? Or what have you done? Number two, the people you are saying should be prosecuted. We don't have the names. You are the ones who should give us the names of those who should be prosecuted. So, the responsibility still lies with you as far as this matter is concerned. And I can say here, it's not only Bungoma. Yeah? Somebody's contract expired. Gratuity is not paid for 3-4 years because of political reasons in many counties. Number two, somebody has gone on retirement, those who are under LAP fund. The deductions are not submitted to the LAP fund. It's a very grievous matter because if I'm retiring, I want to be paid my dues so that my life continues. So as Chair has said, these are matters that are touching the lives of individuals and it must be dealt with. Thank you.
Chair, I totally agree.
Governor, just a minute. First, listen to the senators.
Chair, I thank you. Governor, my speaker, I find myself in a very awkward situation. Because there is admission on your part that there is money owed to employees. And that money is owed to employees by the county government of Bungoma. Now, governments exist in perpetuity. So, I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of your workers. I took a loan from a SACCO. Both the contribution to the SACCO was not remitted. I used to contribute pay as you earn. That was not being remitted. So now a new administration comes into office and I'm supposed to do what? Because if the administration then says it wasn't me, so now what? What are these employees supposed to do? Who is supposed to pay them? You can't tell them to go and follow the governor that was there or the administration that was there. They are still, some of them are still working with you, others may perhaps have retired. What do we do, Governor? What do we do?
Chair, thank you so much. That's why I did say that even the lab fund and lab trust went and negotiated with them because we also did not understand why the previous administration was not paying. So we agreed on a formula of how much we shall be remitting towards that to just clear that. But like I'm saying, my administration has been remitting and we are up to date. So whatever else that is still there, we're going to see that we pay, and that's why we have given that provision in that supplementary that was approved. We are sorry about it, but again, this should not be happening. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, we need to make our recommendation. Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Chair. On this matter, I want, Chair, you'll give direction on what I'm going to say. So these monies are being paid, fine. We are being told is monies either of the former regime, fine. But I want, through the wisdom of the Chair, to get now the real figures per financial year that we are covering. Right, Chair? Because we are dispatching millions here, over 500 and something per location. So I want them to bring us to speed. 2022, 2023, this amount of workers, the following amount of workers dues, this is what we have paid. So that now we can be able to verify, and thereafter, Chair, you have instructed that these monies have always been deducted from the workers, right? So whoever was there receiving or deducting this money, we should also follow them, because you are paying for what was deducted. So who was this that was milking the work of Bungoma dry, and now you are supposed to cover up? Please furnish us with that data. And those, if they are in our government, Bungoma County government today, furnish us with their data, their information, so that we narrow down on them and they must account. Thank you.
Okay.
On a lighter note, to Senator Wakoli, you are saying our government. Are you part of the executive? Maybe you clarify so that we know.
No, me, I'm a voter in Bungoma.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a part and parcel of the county.
Okay.
By virtue of being a voter.
Now, let me bring in the chair, CPA Sifuna, the chair of the county. Simply
my advice will not be far away from what Honorable Wakoli has said. As an accountant, my governor, what has to be done is a forensic audit. First, to determine the etching of the accumulated figure of 549. By doing that, you will determine which year did these figures start accumulating. Then you will determine who are these officers that were in the office. You are now narrowing down to the person now to crack the whip. Who will start taking money or making the monies of the Bungoma County employees. Then by doing that, you will now come up with the specific officers that are supposed to be surcharged. Then after that, I think EACC can come in. If you cannot handle it as our governor, then EACC, you task EACC to come in. They will list those officers basing on the age analysis and those people who are occupying the office. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
thank you. Control of budget.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just want to ask a question to the county to respond on the issue where I'm looking at the financials for the executive. I can see their trade payables value of 4,469,000,000 as a trade payable. That is for the financial year 24-25. That is at the end of June. Now, on the same, the figure that the controller has for your pending bill is 3.5 B. That is bringing a difference of close to 1 B. what will be the cost of that?
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. The figure that we have for trade payables is what is indicated in the financial statements. The report from the COB, probably Chair, request if we can be given time to look at it.
Yeah, because if you have 4.4 sitting in your balance sheet, then it should not differ with what the control of budget has. Now, let's give the... Ogashanja, you wanted to respond?
Chair, this figure from the COB is the basis on which a payment plan was submitted. So it means the figure of 4.4B is way above the payment plan submitted to COB.
Now, we have to agree on how to deal with this matter. We have general recommendations that the Senate made. There's a motion that was processed by the House in the last session. Was it last session or the... Yeah, in the last session. And that motion was communicated to all county governments. That should be the basis upon which we see action from the part of the county governments. But we want to narrow down on staff payables. Ideally, the county government should not owe staff anything because you always requisition the gross amount. If you requisition the gross amount and the employee is paid net, the difference between gross and net, if it cannot be found, that is theft. That has been stolen from the employee, has been stolen from the government. And such thieves should be, I think there must be a special place for people who steal from employees. It's like drinking porridge meant for the child. You know, it's very, very unkind. So we would want to ask the Auditor General perhaps to do a deeper analysis on the 549 million. Let us get an aging of the 549 million, including details for us to know whether these relate to tax, they relate to SACCOs, they relate to pensions. What specific deductible is this that has not been remitted? On that basis, we will be able to confirm what the governor is saying, whether it's true. Because if there is nothing between 0 to 2 years, then it means it's current. But if we still see these things coming up, then it means that the theft is going on under his administration. This is something you can do within the next 7 days so that when we do our report to the House, we are able to attach that schedule. Is that possible?
That's possible, Chair.
So,
Chair, sorry to cut you short.
Senator Dula.
Can we do for the 47 counties, because many counties are actually facing similar problem?
So, Patrick, this should be a standard test in all the counties where there is something appearing as staff payable.
I'll communicate immediately.
Okay.
Chair,
Senator Wakoli?
because of the seriousness of this matter, let Bungoma be a pilot county where you do this exercise so that it's... No, allow me to express myself. Because this is the first time we are getting a platform to dissect this grievous issue. So, and we want to handle it so that when we deal with the others, the workers of this country or county governments must have trust and confidence in the Senate and in their senators. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, for the benefit of my colleague from Bungoma, Senator Wakoli, in fact, this is a problem across the country. As you know, Nairobi is holding the highest amount of pending bills of over 100 billion Kenya shillings. And almost half of that is money that is owed to pension funds. We have even staff from Nairobi City Water Company who were in my office over December, Chair, over the same issues, and we need to sit down and find a solution. So we have no problem putting Bungoma there, number one, but your problems are similar to the problems across the country, so that if this committee is to resolve issues, we need to take an approach that is national. And you will remember, Chair, we in the Senate passed a motion that was sponsored by Senator Osotsi, requiring counties to do some things on this matter of outstanding pensions. Governor, we were very disappointed that one of your colleagues appeared before us here and she was telling us that the things that the Senate passed cannot be done. Because if we are going to proffer solutions as we see them, we cannot have people in executive offices telling us that the Senate was unwise to propose a certain solution. Because it is true. What the chair has been asking over and over again, as we sit here discussing solutions, people are unable to feed their families, people have been locked out of their houses. So it is not something that should be taken lightly in my view, Chair.
Fine. The amount, I think what makes it grave is the figure, 549 million. That's fairly high. Perhaps that's only second to Nairobi and maybe the other two cities. So I think the directions we are giving is we do a proper analysis, we age it, we get a proper listing of the people or institutions that are owed. And this is not, we should not call it money owed to pension schemes. This is money owed to employees. It's not a third-party thing. It's an internal thing. And I hope that listing will also give us a visibility on gratuities so that we know how you are treating people who worked in the last administration. And then the control of budget. If you had already authorized some funds, you cannot authorize again. I mean, it's just a basic principle. So, Governor, I think within the COG, this is a conversation that you must have. Because if the COB had already authorized gross and facilitated the release of gross, we will have a problem with her if she again goes back and authorizes another withdrawal. Yet that 549 million is sitting around with your officers. So, Patrick, I think with that analysis now, Governor, we are asking the Auditor General to do that in 7 days, but it depends on the data that you provide them. Can I get the commitment that your officers will provide that data?
They are here. Let them talk for themselves.
Governor, you forget you are the CEO.
And he's the one who took
are the Chief Executive Officer. This 549 million, if we were to, as you said, start looking for people, we'll start with you. So can you give directions that information must be provided to the auditor?
Yes, Chair, that's what I'm saying. With my permission, because they're the ones who are going to do the work, I want them to commit themselves so that they're also on record. So that when I say it will be done, they have also on record that they will do it. That's what I'm saying, Chair. So
okay, who is supposed to do that?
But Chair, just for order and procedure, it is the governor who took an oath. So if he says let somebody
Chair, okay, I will provide.
Yeah, so let's do this within 7 days so that we understand what we are dealing with. Can we then proceed to the next matter, honourable members? Unsupported staff medical insurance costs. It's a long story, even though we had gotten the gist of it. Auditor General, just read it. We get the governor's response and look at the evidence provided.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Number 3, unsupported staff medical insurance costs. The statement of financial performance reflects use of goods and services expenditure amounting to Kenya shillings 4,155,572,191, which, as disclosed in Note 9 to the financial statements, includes insurance costs amounting to Kenya shillings 231,258,275. Verification of contract documents revealed that the county executive engaged the insurance broker for provision of staff medical insurance cover for 2 years starting 16th February 2023 at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 599,721,288 with a premium amounting to Kenya shillings 299,860,644 per year, for which amount of Kenya shillings 200 million was paid during the year under review. However, management did not provide documents to show the full details of the policy, including list of names of employees covered and the dependents of each employee. In addition, management did not provide evidence of the number and value of claims honored or rejected by the insurance. Also, management did not provide the details of the total payments paid in respect of this contract. Further, management did not provide insurance cover for staff for a period from February to June 2025, thereby exposing them to risk of not having medical attention by health facilities. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of staff medical insurance costs amounting to Kenya shillings 231,258,275 could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Governor, you may respond.
Yes, Chair, through my officer.
Chair, we agree with the audit observation. We did not provide a cover from 16th February 2025. This was caused by budgetary challenges after the cover lapsed. Management has, however, procured a new medical insurer from 1st July 2025 as per the attached policy cover. The new policy aligns the contract period with the financial year to avoid a situation where the cover lapses mid-year. On provision of details of payments, we have provided the details of payments as supported by the IFMIS payment ledger. On full details of the policy, management has provided full details of the policy, including the list of names of employees covered and the age as indicated under Appendix 3C. Chair, on the aspect of age, we provided the date of birth as our appendix. All medical cases claimed, Chair, management has now provided all the details about the medical cases claimed and paid during the year, cases claimed and not paid, and dependents of each employee. Management has requested for this information. Management had previously requested for this information from the insurer, and that is why it was not submitted at the time of audit. I submit, Chair.
Auditor General.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The management provided a list of names of employees covered and their dependents. However, the issue was not fully addressed because the age of the dependents had not been indicated or provided. And further, the list of claims provided does not indicate the amount claimed, amount paid, and the claim not paid. And the total claims was not indicated. And finally, the management did not provide, and they have limited insurance cover for the remaining period from February to June 2025. Thank you.
Now, if you go step by step, you had queried the details of the policy, full details of the policy that runs from 16 February 2023. Do we have that now? Have they provided it now?
I provide the details.
Which one is it, Governor, in your appendices?
Appendix 3B.
Is that the one headed Britam?
3.
Governor, just describe your Appendix 3B.
Chair, the document you have referred to is dated February 2023. I think that is the expired one by Britain. Yeah? So these are the one that we are seeing here. This is not a policy, this is not an insurance policy. It's a contract with an insurance broker. The first document there, Chair, before the Britain document.
The one that is dark.
Yes. Or is it the same?
It can't be. So, Governor, your Appendix 3B, first of all, before we go to 3A, what are you trying to demonstrate there? Governor, why are you having difficulties with your documents? I was just asking.
Thank you, Chair. If you allow me, Chair.
Yes.
When we were having the audit verification, we were providing the documents both soft and hard. And this IFMIS ledger we provided in soft.
IFMIS ledger?
Yes, they wanted to know the total payments.
I'm not talking about IFMIS ledger. I'm just asking you to demonstrate to us that, yes, this is a policy document for the cover that started on 16 February 2023. You want us to ask you about IFMIS ledgers?
I'm guided, Chair. Sorry for that.
So where is it?
Is Chief Evelyn or CC Wamamili?
And it's not a story. You just tell us it's on page XY.
Okay, Chair, the 3B on our report is the IFMIS payment ledger, and also 3B is the policy document. I think it's a matter of a mix-up, which our team can just give it right. I'm sorry about that. We have two 3Bs.
Yeah, we are the one that is a policy document by Britam.
Yes.
That's the 3B we are talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so our team can just provide it.
What do you mean by provide it? We are saying we can see it. We want to know what this document is.
That is the first medical cover, Karen Direct Brokers.
Who is providing this medical cover? Who is the underwriter?
Britam.
So what is the role of Karen?
Karen are the brokers. They're the ones who do it on behalf of Britam.
So in terms of procurement, what were you procuring? A broker or an underwriter?
We were procuring medical services, Chair. A medical insurance, sorry.
Medical insurance?
Yes, Chair.
And medical insurance services are offered by underwriters?
They are offered by underwriters.
A broker is an intermediary?
An intermediary, yes.
So
Chair.
again, in terms of calling for proposals, were you asking for proposals from underwriters, from intermediaries, or from anybody?
We did a procurement for medical insurance, and some people tendered in there.
So typically, when you have an underwriter or a policy document with an underwriter, the intermediary is named because it is the underwriter who pays the intermediary.
Yes.
It is not the client.
Yes.
In this policy document with Britam, where has the intermediary been identified?
The intermediary is Karen Direct Brokers.
Where is it identified in the policy document? The policy document has all those terms, including, because the underwriter will be paying some 10% to the intermediary. So that must form part of that contract.
It was signed in the service level agreement, Chair.
Where is it?
If it is not, if you don't have it, I can avail it on soft copy.
How does Britam know that we are going to pay commission to Karen if it is not captured in the policy terms?
It is captured under a service level agreement.
A service level?
Agreement. It's called an SLA.
Governor, I spent many years in the insurance industry, so I understand these things. The policy document must mention the intermediary, because the intermediary is going to be paid a commission. It cannot be an SLA. In fact, this is not a policy document. I know the systems that Britam uses. It's a system called AIMS. I spent many years developing that system. This is not a policy document. Auditor, you must demand a policy document that is system generated, that provides visibility, because this one with signatures at the end, this one is just a contract.
Your light, Chair.
Yeah, even on the cover it's written contract. So it's a contract, right?
Yeah, because a policy document I'm trying to link Britam and Karen. So what's your officer says it's in an SLA. When was the SLA signed?
It was signed at the same time. It was a contract with Karen Direct Brokers. So an SLA was signed now by Britam, who are the underwriters.
Can your lawyer,
it's a contract.
Even in this contract with Karen Direct Insurance Brokers, is the medical insurance services provider identified? Is there anywhere in this document that makes reference to Britam?
Yes.
Can you point us to the page?
Yeah, let's establish that link.
Chair, because of the time and the copy I have before me is a bit blurred, can I just request for time
If you can't read your copy, what do you think we'll make of what you have brought to us? Governor, we are querying a lot of money here. 599 million. 599 million. Your documents cannot all of a sudden be ineligible.
Chair, if you
because our worry is this: if all these documents were available, why were they not presented to the Auditor General for them to be brought to us to be doing an audit? When all these things could have been done in the 3 months that the auditors were there. That's why we started this meeting by asking you about your audit committee and your internal arrangements. Now we are forced to do an audit. But your officer says she can't read her document. Now, what do we do?
So, Chair, I can't even see the person talking, but maybe she's somewhere.
Yeah, please, since you have, maybe you can just move closer so that the Hansard people can be able to record you.
I see.
Office, I think I've been asked by the Hansard team that you reintroduce yourself because we'll be doing a verbatim report. Just reintroduce yourself.
Evelyn Tuzawekesa, Chief Officer for Public Service Management, Administration and ICT.
Okay, you can proceed now.
On page 8.
Of which document?
Of the documents that you have been referring to. 3A.
Page 8 of the current document or page 8 of the Britam document?
Yes, Chair.
Which one?
Karen.
Page 8 of the current document. Okay.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. You may proceed.
Under service providers, that is subsection 9.
Just read it for those who are not, who don't have eyes as sharp.
The broker has provided a list of preferred medical service providers who have been authorized to render direct medical services under the scheme. Whenever the broker makes any changes to the said list, whether by addition of more providers or removal from the list, such changes will be communicated to the client in accordance with the terms of this agreement. The broker shall, to the greatest extent possible, maintain credit facilities with service providers submitted at inception and shall introduce additional service providers as may be proposed by the client, subject to fulfilling to the necessary requirements by such service providers.
So go to the contract with Britam and demonstrate to us how Karen comes in.
No, Chair. Just before you go, because the question, I'm the one who had asked the question, where in the current contract does it make reference to Britam? Before we go to the other contract, that clause that you have read, has it spoken anything about the, has it identified any medical scheme provider?
It doesn't here. I said it was signed on the SLA, which is not here.
Okay, so what was the purpose of you reading that clause? If it was not to answer the question that I asked. I asked, is there anywhere in the current agreement where the provider Britam is mentioned? And you said yes. That's why we go to you reading. Why were you reading that clause? What question were you answering?
The brokerage.
Well, you are taking us down a rabbit hole. Now let's conclude that line of thought.
Let me just conclude it. Because I don't think here we're dealing with a list of providers. We're dealing with one service provider. So how is this list supposed to help you or even us? Because it's a list. But here you have a policy, you're saying the policy in the 3B, the Britam, yes, this policy is issued to the Bungoma County government following a written proposal to. So this list you are saying that in the service level agreement, we will go and find Britam in a list of providers. That's what you're saying.
Okay, Chair, I said that we signed an SLA which has not been provided here.
No, I asked a direct question. So you're saying that the provision for Britam will be found in the SLA, right?
Yes.
So I'm asking, when we go there, so we'll just find Britam as among a list of service providers, because that's what the contract says.
On the contract we signed with Britam, just as, with the current direct brokers, it did not mention Britam, but we signed with Britam as an SLA, service level agreement. It is not part of the contract.
I think let's deal with what is before us. So let's go to the one you signed with Britam and show us how Karen comes in. Because who are the parties? Who are the signatories there? It is the county government of Bungoma and Britam. So how does Karen come into this contract? Is there anywhere in that, again, similar to the question raised by Senator Sifuna, is there anywhere in the contract with Britam where Karen is mentioned and acknowledged as an intermediary?
Okay, Chair, on what has been provided, the SLA is not.
It is not there.
It's not there.
So whatever you are provided, the contract with Britam and the contract with Karen, there is no nexus.
Not provided here.
What is it that you would wish to provide to demonstrate that?
Given time, I will do the SLA. I will provide the SLA.
Senator Sifuna.
Now, Chair, you know that gentleman called Oringe is my friend. I know he's a lawyer. I think you might help your colleagues more. You have provided us with 2 contracts here. If I'm an employee of Bungoma County and I want to know the full range of benefits that I am entitled to under this cover, do I look at the contract with Britam or with Karen?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think you look at the contract with Britam.
You will need to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much.
It's long since you left the corridors of Parliament.
Thank you, Chair. It's good to be back here. Edward Waswa is my name. I'm the county attorney. Yes, to answer your question, Senator Sifuna, is you go to Britam. You don't go to the broker.
Good. So, what is the value of the clauses in this contract with the Karen? Because, for instance, Chair, the thing I wanted to demonstrate to this committee and to the county, let's use inpatient, for instance. There's provisions with on the Karen contract. There's outpatient benefits at page 6 of that contract. It lists out what your employees should expect. So you will see there consultations with a medical practitioner, consultation with a specialist, laboratory investigations, and so on and so forth. As the benefits the county has signed under this particular agreement with Karen, your staff can expect this. Then you come to the one with Britam on page 9. It also has the outpatient benefits and inpatient benefits, and those things don't look the same. So what is an employee supposed to do if there's a variance between the terms in the current contract and the one in the Britam contract? And you are saying the Britam contract is the go-to contract. So why were you signing this one with the broker?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think at this point it's good that we put the record straight. It was wrongfully done because if you look at the agreement with the broker, there's no linkage between the broker and the service provider.
Correct.
Anywhere. Even if you look at the Britam, page 9 vis-a-vis page, the one for Karen, page 6, the broker cannot provide a list of hospitals or rather the benefits that an employee is supposed to be getting. If you look at the insurance laws, that is not amenable. So I think this Britam document, Chair, I think it was not properly done, and I think that is it.
If you are to be given 1 minute to be a prosecutor, how would you frame the charges on this?
Chair, I think on that one I'll pass for obvious reasons. I cannot prosecute.
So unless you are casting doubt on your training as an advocate. Because as an advocate,
Chair.
You have said that it was wrongly done.
That is correct, Chair.
Yes. So what is the offence there that we should frame?
In this case, Chair, my client is the county government of Bungoma, and therefore I can't prosecute myself in this matter. But just allow me to leave it there. I'm sure.
Okay. So the record is guilty as charged. So it's upon us now to make recommendations. Senator Dulo, then Senator.
Thank you, Chair. Being the county attorney, were you part of the people who looked at this contract? Because as a county attorney, this must come to you because you are the technical person who should advise the relevant department.
Thank you, Chair. Senator, I wasn't there. As you can see, it was done in 2023. I just came in last year in April, so I wasn't part of the team. It was done by my colleague, the erstwhile counsel.
So,
the
Chair,
former attorney.
So why he was fired?
I can't speak
so are you seeing this now?
To be sincere, yes. We look at this document and we discovered detailed issues with my colleague, and I'm not allowed, of course, by the profession to crucify my colleague here, but this is it. That is the situation as it is.
You have seen it now.
Yes, yes.
Now, members, we are flogging a dead horse. They have agreed that they messed up. It is for us to pronounce ourselves. Senator Wakoli.
As much as we are morticians on this matter, Chair, I want to ask the following questions. When I came to Senate, I placed this question through the House. And the workers of Bungoma County were complaining over Britain when our governor came into office. They were going for treatment in various facilities and they were always turned away. Some had opted to pay for themselves, the county government staff of Bungoma. Now, it is very clear that it was done deliberately. What remedy are you taking to ensure this does not happen again? Because I'm aware, Chair, another service provider has been brought on board. Is this service provider operating under such terms that he decides which services to give, when and how, and who to turn away and who not to turn away? Finally, have the staff of Bungoma been consulted on how these facilities should be procured and if they are getting the services that they are paying for? Because there is one thing to provide for them, and there is another that the staff are enjoying and benefiting from what they are paying for. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, before you respond, Senator,
I need some clarity from this. I think maybe the officers here, the Auditor General and the others can help us. When a county advertises a tender for provision of staff medical insurance, what exactly are they looking for? Are they looking for an insurance broker or are they looking for an insurance service provider? So that if it is the broker, is it then the case that once we say Wambua Insurance Brokers is the one who's in charge of Nairobi County, that insurance broker then goes and looks for a provider? Is that the case? OAG.
When they are clearing medical services for the staff, they are looking for the underwriter, not the broker. The provider.
Well, in terms of practice, it is okay. I mean, it can be opened up to licensed brokers, but a broker will submit a quote from an underwriter because the broker cannot provide the service. The broker, so that's why we are asking the link between Karen and Britam. If we found it, then that makes sense, because the broker does not have the capacity, does not have the license to provide that service. They can just do, paperwork and, for example, we are with Parliament. We are with an administrator called what's the name of these guys who provide our medical? There's Old Mutual. There's Zamara. Zamara is not an underwriter. Zamara, I think, is a scheme administrator. But the actual service is provided by an underwriter. So there has to be a link between Zamara and the underwriter who's offering the service. And that's what we are looking for here. And we can't find it. And when you don't find it, what sometimes happens, and I'm not saying that this has happened, is that the entity has agreed they're going to use Britam. And then they introduced a broker along the way. Because insurance is the only place where commission is legal. 10%. 10% of 599 million is 59 million. So a broker is brought in for purposes of processing the commission. And that commission then goes to the boys. That happens. And the girls.
So, Chair, do we have, if I can ask my county, through the governor,
But you are not a girl.
in the new scheme, do we have a broker anywhere so that we can do some mathematics?
Maybe they will answer. Those are very serious. Maybe Chair has had experience of insurance. Maybe if the procurement director was here, he would have actually explained to us exactly what happened, the process under which we procure this. Because we also had challenges in terms of provision of service by this the insurance, this Britam. And that's why I said, because of whatever inconsistencies and, you know, stopping to pay, we had to change to the current medical cover. Maybe the officers can explain whether there's a broker, the question that you have now asked, whether there was a broker. And you can also explain, because when we came in, NHIF had also stopped, because that's the one that was providing services, and why we now had to advertise for a new insurance cover. Maybe you can take us.
And then again, on that last point of NHIF, because I was going to ask it, this new health insurance cover, does it have an institutional arrangement, the same way NHIF would cover?
Once more, Chair. We have a new medical scheme, and it's a broker again called Transnep under the undercover, underwriter Jubilee. But because of what had happened in the first insurance, we had a sitting with Jubilee, the Transnep, and the county government, and we agreed on how it will be solved. So we signed again a contract, a service level agreement, and we have been having quarterly meetings with them. They have had an education month with our staff.
Oh, no, just leave it there, because for purposes of time. Okay. I think that was the last bit of the question. You were previously on NHIF.
Yes, as a county government, we were.
The new health insurance scheme, does it have an arrangement similar to that?
It has with SHA.
So instead of paying 599 million to a private underwriter, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's value for money, have you tried getting quotations for a similar cover from, is it SHA?
For this time, I haven't tried, so I cannot answer.
What premiums are you paying under NHIF back then for the same complement of staff?
I was not a chief officer then, so I don't know.
But the records are there?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to check. 599 million is not small money. Senator Wambua, then Senator Akoli, then we can progress.
So, Chair, you'll also enlighten us, because you seem to understand a few things about this insurance business. And I'm seated here wondering, in terms of value for money, what are these brokers doing? I mean, what stops a county government from directly contacting or seeking service providers to directly, tender for provision of these services? Because in terms of value for money, with the introduction of a broker, definitely, there is some money involved there, right?
Senator Wakoli?
Thank you. My question is that SHA is a nationwide facility, covers many facilities. So staff in Bungoma can access services wherever they are. What informed us of getting Jubilee, and how many facilities does Jubilee cover in Bungoma County? Number two, when you want to tender for such a facility, don't you look at how acceptable, how accessible the facility is before you go and advertise? Because you must do an analysis of service providers and what benefit does the worker get in Bungoma. That is why, through the chair, you asked, why didn't you look at SHA? Because it shows us that there was some thought in the process before you arrived at tendering this kind of services. Thank you.
Honorable members, we can allow the governor to respond so that we can go to other issues. Or Senator Sifuna, maybe just half a minute.
Let him just respond, because I wanted to introduce some political angle
Okay, no, just keep that. Governor.
I wanted her to respond, then I'll give her.
Chair, maybe to the OAG, in this 231,258,275, was there loss of public money? And secondly, Governor, as you answered that, just a simple clarity, with this period of February to, is it July, that there was no medical cover for your employees, what were the plan to ensure that the employees did not go without medical cover? So that clarity can be. So maybe the OAG can go first, Chair, through your indulgence, then the Governor should tell us what happened.
Okay, let's make very brief responses, OAG.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In terms of value for money, we had queried for evidence that services were rendered to employees in terms of the details of the claim made and paid or rejected. And I had indicated earlier that what had been given to us are the list of claims without the amounts and the totals. So we are not able to confirm whether the county government got value for money in absence of that information.
Okay, Chief Officer.
Thank you, Chair. I will start with what Senator Wakoli asked. The new medical insurance has services in every sub-county, and they are also in agreement with our health facilities to offer the services. So far, no complaint. It is fine. Then about SHA, there's been a challenge with that time. It was when we were transiting, there was that challenge of SHA registration, and right now at least it has been it's not at least established. So the new brokerage was just put for 1 year so that it can now be changed as need be, as you have advised.
Chief Officer, we cannot tell you who to procure.
Yes.
It is upon you to establish value for money.
Yes.
And this is a critical question because we have this national scheme that we are told works. And here in Parliament, the Speaker, when Governor was Speaker, he insisted that if you are flying out, you must first book Kenya Airways. It's only if Kenya Airways is full that you can go to Emirates or Qatar. Even in cases where KQ was more expensive than Emirates and Qatar. Basing on that same principle, why would we not prioritize SHA, if indeed SHA works, to provide cover for county governments? Do you see any challenge if you were to say you must first consider SHA the same way we first consider Kenya Airways?
SHA does not offer the comprehensive care. It's offered under, I think, SHIF, which is just now in the process of establishing, firming up, Chair. So
you want to tell me that in 1 year, because we went live in October 2024, that 1 year down the line, the government insurance arrangements cannot cover county employees?
Chair, I think in her defense, maybe we should be putting this question to the CEO of SHA. Because when some of us speak, they say we are playing politics. But if you carried out a survey of these employees of Bungoma County and ask them today, can we move you to SHA from Jubilee? I doubt that you will get a positive response. There are challenges with that public health insurance service, and if people don't want to accept and acknowledge what they are being told from the ground, then it's up to them. But even me, as a member of parliament, if you ask me to move from Old Mutual to SHA, I will refuse. because I will not be very secure in the fact that my family will get
but
the
you
care
know,
that I want.
Honorable members, I didn't want us to have
These are
this.
politics.
I don't
It
want us
should
to
be treated
debate
as
this
such.
from the global perspective.
There is no basis on that argument.
Order,
Chair.
Senator Cherargei.
No, but I'm just being honest. Because
Order,
PSC
Senator.
does not procure.
This is a user. We
You
are
can't
talking
throw me
about
out. The Speaker Emeritus is here.
Senator Cherargei. Let's come back to the serious business.
Then you should stop politics.
The county government of Bungoma is spending 599 million on insurance for its employees. The question we are asking is, can she for sure offer better value or equivalent value as a user? I'm not directing you there yet. I'm just asking you from your perspective as a user. Do you think this 600 million, if it was directed to SHIF or SHA or wherever, it would be better value than if it was taken to a private sector player?
Chair, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
It's a tough question, really. But so far, I can say for what we are using, Jubilee has done well for Bungoma County now.
No, we have left there. I know Jubilee, I know Britam, all these are underwriters with capacity. The only reason why people don't get service is when you choose a lousy scheme administrator. Because the people who face the patient tend to be the scheme administrator rather than the underwriter. We have moved. Now we are asking if NHIF could have a package for county employees, and we are told that this new arrangement is superior. Why are we not going for it? Or are we saying that Sifuna is right?
That's on the borderline between politics and the real thing, Chair, with due respect.
Okay, address the real thing.
Governor, the lives of the people is politics. There is no borderline here. Are your employees going to be in a better space as part of this government scheme or the scheme that you currently have? That has nothing to do with Sifuna, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, you're right. Governor, I think you understand the question that I'm asking.
I do.
Yeah, just address, give us this comfort so that if we need to
SHA is working. Yes, it's working. So what we need to look at, like you have said, is, between SHA now and what we have procured now, because we have already procured. If SHA provides better services, it's working. But I'm not sure that it's better than whatever. Then we go for the advice that we'll go where we can get better services. But SHA is working.
And I gave you that analogy of airlines. For me to fly Emirates, I had to write to you, Mr. Speaker. I had to write to you and say that I have a medical condition. I remember one senator wrote and was permanently on Emirates because she said that the seats on Kenya Airways were too small. And for 5 years, she always flew Emirates. But it had to take an approval of the Speaker. How can we have a national health insurance scheme and then we make it optional? Can't we use the same principle that we apply on Kenya Airways?
That's where we are going to go. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Members, can we close this?
Yes, finally, Honorable Chair, on the same wavelength as you've tuned in, I thought, and my good governor is government allied chairman of agriculture, this health scheme that we have of SHA, we went through hail. We were in Turkana, as you understand, pushed this and ensured that we put into place a well-coordinated scheme for the workers and people of Kenya. What I expected from your people, the people who work with you, is to do an analysis of service providers that we have. We have been campaigning all over that SHA is working, and you have confirmed that it works. If that be, I expected that these monies will be going to the coffers so that many other Kenyans that are not on the payroll in Bungoma can also benefit as our workers in Bungoma. So probably next time, before they bring this for your approval, they must bring a well-researched document, and you're accessible to SHA and government through a phone call. We could have got whatever we wanted, and Bungoma will be smiling all the way to healthiness. So I think next time, my good Chief Officer, you will consider joining Kenyans in supporting other Kenyans. Thank you.
The senators from Bungoma are on fire. Senator Sifuna, what is it?
I think just one thing that will give me comfort that SHA is working in Bungoma. Governor, you know we were promised universal health coverage, free universal health coverage. Are you telling me that the villagers in Nalondo or in Sangalo, if they go to a health facility there, in Bungoma they are accessing full services for free, number one? Number two, can you tell me, does the SHA, Social Health Authority, owe any money to your facilities in Bungoma, as far as you know, so that we determine this working? When you say it's working, we want to see what is the picture in Bungoma. If you just answer me those two questions, we will exit this conversation.
Senator Cherarke.
Chair, in my county where I come from, outside the politics of excitement, SHA is working. I think the issue here is they should.
Are you answering Senator Sifuna?
No,
because the answer should come from the government.
I'm not answering in any way Senator Sifuna.
Okay.
I'm just answering. You have put a question, and the governor is supposed to clarify on this. Is that what the committee is saying? Since SHA is working, should there be a transition to ensure even employees and all of us, even me, I carry a card from SHA authority, so that when you access a medical cover, it is easy for universal health coverage. So what the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Health must sit and agree that since SHA is working, the counties must be part and parcel of it. But the point, Chair, you must also be careful is it also legally right to force employees to take a medical cover from certain, maybe Jubilee, from anywhere? Are you also threatening?
That's what you did with the teachers. You forced the teachers to join SHA. That's a question you should ask as settlers.
No, Chair.
Honorable
you need
Chair.
to protect me. I was making some.
Honorable Chair, we are senators.
That is why.
I will allow Senator Sifuna to be dealt by the government chief. Can I finish?
Senator Cherarke, please finish.
Yes.
Please
That
finish.
is what I'm saying. The governor should give us assurance that the conversation between the Ministry of Health and the SHA authority should ensure that the counties are part and parcel, and the package that is there is available for Bungoma residents, Nandi residents, and Kenyans. Leave out the politics of SHA, people who want to score here and there, led by Senator.
Order, Senator. Governor, you may respond.
Thank you, Chair. SHA is working, like I said. I want to assure my good Senator Sifuna from Bungoma that it's working in those Namangoflo place. The only challenge has been reimbursement, which have delayed. And we have held a discussion with...
How is that working?
No, it's working. You know,
unless in Bungoma,
you may be driving a
working is different.
You may be driving a...
Governor, order, Senator's order. I think we have veered off where we were, and I understand that we are national politicians, but it's something we can deal with separately. I think our concern as a committee is if one county is spending 600 million on insurance cover and procuring from a private player, which there's nothing wrong, assuming all counties were to take the same route, that's 28 billion Kenya shillings, 28 billion. We cannot force you to go to SHA or SHIF. They must also compete with the Jubilees and the Britams and the other players. But if NHIF, which has been vilified, was able to provide a cover for county governments, this new arrangement, if it is better, then it should even provide a much better cover for county staff. 28 billion shillings, it's not small money. That's about 5 or 6% of the total amount of money that goes to county governments, isn't it? 6% of 400 billion. 6% is going to insurance. So if the government scheme could come up with a cover, a product that works, that then should be the go-to scheme. But from what I'm hearing from the government apologists and the government critics, it appears that we are all in agreement that we still don't have a solution. So we move on, but on the audit issues here, Auditor General, please advise us on the lawfulness of the procurement of service providers here. Please ensure that you get the policy document for the past and the current cover. And then I think there are other things like the claims or loss history that you have asked for. You will advise us, having looked at what has been submitted by the county, when you're writing our report.
That's noted, Chair.
Chair, just a question. Are the two insurance covers running concurrently?
One expired, there was even a gap in between, which again leads us to a conclusion, Governor, that you must do something about how you manage your human resource, because it gives a picture that you're treating your employees badly. If they are without a cover for how many months? How many months were they without a cover?
About 3.
About 3. As an employee, if you're in that situation, you would easily resign and look for greener pastures.
Sure, that's why we have said we have aligned now whatever we have with the financial year, so there's no gap.
Now, honorable members, we must make progress. We go to impressed. Auditor General, you had given us a brief. 7.6 million is being investigated. 6.1 million is held by officers who exited service, and 12.1 million has been submitted for recovery. What has been the progress so far, OAG, so that the governor can address anything that is outstanding?
Thank you, Honourable Chair. As you have indicated, 7.6 million is still under EACC investigation. The 6.1 million has not been recovered. That relates to the officers that have since left the organization. What is being currently recovered is 12.1 million. And the management has given us evidence.
On the 12.1?
12.1 million.
So what about the 6.1 million? Governor, what is the action? What action are you taking to recover the 6.1 million?
The county attorney is already handling, you can respond.
And please refer to the evidence in file. I'm trying to be efficient so that we don't read everything word for word. There are matters where we'll take written responses. So just direct us to the action you are taking.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Chair. We have we did demand notices which they never responded. We've now filed recovery suits, and that evidence is on Appendix 4E. So we have filed suits to recover the same.
Appendix 4?
4E.
Auditor General, had you gone through that Appendix 4D? Auditor General?
Yes, we had.
What is your interpretation?
That one has not borne any fruit until when the money will be recovered, and then that's when the issue will be addressed.
But they are making some, they are, is it the same as, so here it's 6.3, it's 6.3.
So, and 7.6, so around 1 million has been paid. They have given us, Chair, they have given us a total of 6.3, but the one that was being followed up was 7.6 million.
That's so, a ESCC one?
Yeah. Out of 12, it means that 6 million has been paid. That's why they are following up 6.3 million. And also interest, Chair, through the interest.
What we can do, because we have much bigger issues in the report, we have a standard recommendation on recovery of interest. That is one area where the TFM regulations have been very clear on what action needs to be taken. So you don't even need to waste time. If these are not going to bear any fruit, the onus is on the accounting officer I think that's how the PFM regulation is crafted. Our recommendation would be the accounting officer within certain timeframes must recover the money with interest, failure to which they shall bear the loss.
Maybe, Chair, in 30 seconds, I think this is one of the counties that are a bit efficient in terms of recovery suits, because most of them even don't write demand letters. So I think this, I hope these suits will yield to something, that the recovery of this 6.3 million shall be achieved. But the fact that there is evidence of action and spanner into works is a bit comfortable.
Fine. To some extent. Thank you. So we proceed to...
Yeah.
Yes, Senator Wakoli.
I want to ask the current status of interests in Bungoma. Many of our staff always cite these things to enjoy like others. I put it to us, are our staff, including those who are here, benefiting or they equally have pending interests, my governor? Because I always get petitions that some of our close friends, those who accompany you, those who work with our CECs, in the county government, they are always requested just to sign forms and nothing forthcoming. So I wanted to ask, is the management of impress handled properly, or it is a tool for, as we saw, remittances not being remitted at the benefit of other people? Thank you.
Okay, Senator Sifuna.
Chair, just a concern. If you look at some of the cases there, the reason why that interest was taken, it's quite shocking, Governor, that you have somebody holding 3.6 million shillings of interest for the facilitation of the Christmas tree lighting celebration in a county such as Bungoma with all our challenges, Chair. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
I agree, Chair. Unfortunately, it was not me. It was the previous. It's wrong, actually, to hold such an impress, but we'll recover. Thank you, Chair.
So you spent 3.689 million for Christmas tree celebration. Facilitation for Christmas tree celebration. 3.689 million. Governor, you see the things that make people feel like devolution is not working. I thought we had seen crazier things where there was a housewarming for 5 million. Now you have a Christmas tree lighting at 3.6 million,
Chair,
and the money has not even been brought back.
Chair, just for the record, because I know media will say I am the one who has done that. It is 2019. Please, Chair, I also need protection. Because what is going
to... No, you are not under any threat, Governor.
Because, you know, you are dressing like, you know, it's me. Out here, people are watching it live. People are watching it live.
I am dealing with the county government of Bungoma.
Yes, no, that is right.
The county government of Bungoma spends 3.68 million for Christmas tree celebration.
This is...
at 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the county government of Bungoma spends 3.689 million for Christmas tree celebration. I mean, I thought we are
in agreement. It's 2019, but you should be very careful, because when I was driving around, I think I saw a Christmas tree this December. So we are just saying.
No, let me put on record.
We are just saying
no Christmas tree, Chair.
This Christmas.
This last Christmas.
Christmas tree.
Okay. So
if you saw any tree, it was not for Christmas. It was just a tree for.
Most interestingly, Chair, you will see that interest is being taken on the 9th of September. A whole 3 months before Christmas. These are some of the things that happen in these counties that make many of us worry. And these are things that people must answer for.
Governor, is Francis Tome still in the county?
Francis?
Tome.
He exited.
He exited. This is a guy who was lighting up a Christmas tree in September at a cost of 3.6 million. You see why it's difficult sometimes to fight for more resources to go to county government.
There's a clarification here.
Chair, maybe we need to be on the same page because whatever we have here, the impress warrant is facilitation to Mbale benchmarking.
But no, my friend.
We are reading
your documents. The case that you have told us you have filed in court is a plaint and an affidavit sworn in support of those facts by the county attorney, by a gentleman called Ambrose Makoha. Who is Ambrose Makoha? These are your own documents, Governor. We're not making this thing up. We are reading paragraph 5 of the plaint, County Government of Bungoma versus Francis Tome.
And in fact, it had been served.
And it says, on or about, for avoidance of doubt, on or about 9th of September 2019, the defendant requested and was issued with a temporary imprest in the sum of Kenya shillings 3,689,000 for the facilitation of the Christmas tree lighting celebration.
That's the plate.
That is your document. It's a Christmas tree lighting. It's 3.6 million and it is in September. Honorable Chair of Public Accounts Committee of the Assembly, how do you allow yourselves to budget such expenditure? How do you sit down as members of County Assembly and say that we'll light a Christmas tree in September and we'll give the executive 3.6 million? How is this possible? Because the governor might argue that it was budgeted.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We do not have such an item in the budget.
But 3.6 million was spent.
Then that is fraud.
Do you light your Christmas trees in September?
It's supposed to be in December, not September.
Chair, maybe...
Honorable Chair, I would like...
Please proceed, Senator Okoli.
I want to say that this amount was spent in September as it's seen, and all of us who happened to be alive that time, it was a very ceremonial function where people had Christmas hats and with some good tents, and they were jumping like nursery school children at the governor's office compound. It is very annoying, and those who chewed this money continue to lecture Kenyans on how prudent use of resources should be done. So I want to seek indulgence, Chair, that apart from following up this money, ESCC should revisit this, so that it is a lesson to government officers who use such kind of ceremonies to swindle public money and doing Kenyans that they are benevolent, caring and loving during festivity seasons. Thank you.
Chair, in
Senator Okoli, but you just indicated that people were very happy on that occasion.
Yeah, the beneficiaries through the chair.
The ones who are jumping up and down.
You know, I want to warn my chief if he might turn into a witness to this matter, but since he's a senator, I know where he was working before he became the senator. The point, Governor, just as an observation on this issue of Christmas tree lighting celebration, so you have looked, there is a problem with the management of imprest. Maybe give us an assurance that what are you doing? Because when you are our speaker, when you travel, you approve for our travel. When we land back and we must give boarding pass, for example, the passport that has been stamped, and even invitation letter. Then you are able to surrender your imprest. What is the management of the imprest on this? Because, Chair, this 3.6 million that was used for Christmas tree lighting celebration is very unfortunate. I want to agree with the area senator that the EACC must and should pick up the matter so that this thing can be, because Chair, it's not different from what we saw in housewarming of 5 million. And now we are having 3.6 million of tree lighting on September 2019, 9th September 2019. And for us who are Christians, we know December is the Christmas. Or maybe Bungoma has a unique way of celebrating Christmas. Maybe their Christmas came early, but these 3.6...
In Ethiopia, the new year was in our November, so maybe they're using the Ethiopian calendar.
Maybe they're using the Ethiopian calendar.
Yeah.
But this 3.6 million, and I want just to find also from the county attorney through the governor, has this matter been filed in court already? But this 3.6 million on Christmas tree lighting, Chair, should and must be recovered. And I hope, Governor, the people who did this should never come to any elective positions in Bungoma again. Because as my chair said, it is hard, all of us fight for resources day in and day out to increase the resources. Then when it goes there, they're using for housewarming, they're using for lighting Christmas trees, they're also using for buying seedlings in areas where there is drought 24/7. So, Chair, I think there is a bigger problem than what we are imagining.
Chair, may the county attorney also just make a clarification?
Before he makes a clarification, Senator Sifuna?
Chair, my worry is that this money might never be recovered. Because if there are discrepancies between what you have told the court and what your documents show, the people of Bungoma will never get this money back. Number two, some of these people are very well known to me. Yes, I can see these names. These are names that are known within Bungoma County. I can assure you, Chair, most of them are, the problem with imprest, Chair, is that you can forward somebody's name as your PA or somebody else to take the money, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he is the one who ends up with the money. There are bigger people behind these imprest malpractices. And I'm looking at these names. I don't want to read them because they will be on the news. But I am sure some of them are impecunious. I know them. They left employment.
Through the chair. You know, this is a matter of saving the lives of those who are under stress and depression to account for these monies. So if we know them and we want to restore hope to those who are used to get this money, please, my brother, just read them loudly so that the people of Bungoma can know.
Fine, let me give directions. Yes. The names are in the documents before us, so he does not have to read.
I want through his courage
Senator,
to read.
You're done? I think let's get back to the substance. Governor?
County Attorney, can you clarify?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm looking at the document, the imprest warrant, vis-a-vis that letter done by my assistant.
Point of order, Chair. It is Edward Waswa County Attorney, County Government of Bungoma for the plaintiff.
We are not reading a letter. We are reading the plaintiff filed in court.
Yes. It has already been filed.
Waswa, can you get to the point? Because
yes,
you are causing yourself unnecessary problems.
My colleagues and counsel is that...
and he's very powerful. He has an assistant.
Yes. The narration for that demand was not correct. It was... the narration was supposed to be a facilitation to Mbale benchmarking. If you look at paragraph...
So the letter by the Chief Officer Finance dated 5th of September 2024 has a similar narration.
Yes. The one that was written to the office seeking that, the first one, if you look at the page, there's 16.
The Chief Officer Finance, who is the accounting officer for these purposes, has clearly indicated that the reason for imprest for Francis Tome is facilitation for Christmas tree celebration. How can the county attorney be wiser than the chief officer, who is the custodian of all these records?
Most importantly, Chair, these documents were presented to us to to demonstrate action that has been taken. You have given us court documents. Wakili, you know, parties are bound by their pleadings.
Yes, I
this is
agree.
what you are telling the magistrates court in Bungoma at paragraph 5.
Yes, I agree.
Now, are you telling us we have no chance of recovery because you have already given the defense?
No, I agree, senior, and I agree.
You have an amended plaint.
I agree, senior, and we also note that we are allowed to amend pleadings before close of pleadings. We can amend them. So I don't think there's any issue. There's no alarm. It was just a narration from if you look at the letter from the chief officer.
No, Chair, on a point of order. Why would you say there is no alarm when you have indicated that 3.6 million was put on the Christmas tree lighting?
Chair, will allow me to direct the members to the document.
Now,
the
Governor, we are not making useful.
Yes.
We are not using our time in a useful manner. What we have here is a document from the Chief Officer of Finance. We've got pleadings by the County Attorney, Edward Waswa. We are not going to amend those documents before the Senate. And you have said it clearly that you were with us in the Senate when these things were happening. And that's a fact. But we must point out the madness that goes on in county governments. And that is why in your 5 years in the Senate, you saw we fought 11 times to pass the new formula for allocation of revenue. And I hope one day you'll write a book about that particular scenario. But if we do all that fighting for money to go to counties, to be spent in September for lighting up Christmas trees, I don't think that's the reason why devolution was brought in. I think on this matter, members, beyond relying on what the PFM regulations require for recovery, this is a matter that is unethical. This is a matter that must be escalated to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I know they're around, and this is a matter that we must mark to them, because it cannot be acceptable. Really, guys, diverting money for KIPES to go to borders, diverting money from executive to go to housewarming, at least there's a house you can see being warmed. But using 3.6 million for Christmas tree celebration in September, and the money remains unaccounted for. You see, that's the worst thing. If the money was drawn in September, used, the Christmas tree lit up, and surrendered, it would not be before us. So, Governor, it's a shame that these things are happening within the county government of Bungoma. Now you are the new captain. You need to ensure that such things do not recur, but these people must be held accountable. Otherwise, the people of Bungoma might just as well give up on devolution. So, can we close at that point and move to the next issue? Because I think we have prosecuted this enough.
There was just a small matter on impress management. How are they doing now? Because if he's saying it is in the in 30 seconds.
Considering the time, let's leave that to the auditor so that they report in the next audit cycle.
Okay.
So let's progress. We are done with the issues that were raised with the financial statements. We will take your written responses on budgetary control and performance and resolve prior year matters. We'll also consider the written responses. On excessive wage bill, Governor, we are alarmed that your wage bill has grown from 47% to 53%. We have gone to the report on lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources. Now, as we had said at the beginning, we were concerned about how you manage your human resource. If 53% of your expenditure goes to employees, you have seen some of the gaps. Unremitted statutory remittances, lapses or gaps in insurance coverage for staff. If there's something you must do, Governor, to stabilize your county is to change the way the human resource is managed. And you have indicated that you now have a public service board. You have indicated that, did you say the HR director was here? The HR director ought to have been here because that is the professional. That is a person who is a subscriber to a professional body. and we would be declaring her unfit to be a member, her or him, unfit to be a member of a professional body. When you have such issues, issue number 1, excessive wage bill, HR. Number 2, lack of ethnic diversity, HR. Number 3, employees on long-term probation, HR. Number 4, recruitment without approved staff establishment, HR. Number 5, failure to reserve employment positions for persons living with disability, HR. Number 6, non-adherence to the 1/3 basic pay rule, HR. Number 7, employment of staff on contract without gratuity, HR. 7 issues touching on the HR function. Now, unless you want us to go through specific issues, but I would like perhaps, if we are going to take your written responses, but get your comment on the measures you're putting in place to address all these issues that keep recurring in Bungoma on human resource.
Thank you, Chair. I think one of the issues, if you look at our response, was a court order that said, some casuals had gone to court, and the court ruled that they all be absorbed and put on permanent and pensionable. So that became difficult. We tried to argue our case in court, but we didn't succeed, so that has brought a bit of a problem. The other thing is on, for example, ethnic diversity of staff establishment. I think is a problem across board, where you find even those who don't come from Bungoma and in other places want to come back to Bungoma, they want to come back home. So as much as you try to balance, you recruit, you find that the dominant ethnic community will always take the larger share. So it's something, I don't know how it will be addressed, but again, you can imagine if you go, let me give you an example of Bungoma. We have 5 major ethnic groups: the Bukusus, the Sabots, the Tesos, the Tachonis, and the Batura. So, and if you go by percentage, you realize that the Bukusus are the majority. So when you employ, you realize that they will definitely be the majority, there will be a higher number. So it's, as much as we try our level best to accommodate even the other percentage, it's a bit of a challenge. The other issues are...
Maybe just to be specific, yeah. How many employees do you have?
6,000. What was it, that number? CS?
You see,
we do, yes.
Under your staff establishment, what is the ideal number of employees that you require to deliver services?
I can answer that. CS?
Governor?
CS, I thought the CS would have that.
Yeah, because you're saying you have a staff establishment. The staff establishment is not just an organogram. It defines the positions required and the numbers required in an ideal situation. Governor, you have submitted on oath that you have a staff establishment, so that information ought to be there.
We can provide it. The director, human resource, should have been here to provide that information.
The county secretary is the head of the county public service. If you chose not to come with HR director, the county secretary will take the arrows. How can you not know the content of your staff establishment? Has it been approved by the cabinet? Has the staff establishment been approved by the cabinet?
It was approved.
So if it was approved, County Secretary, what did you approve? What did Cabinet approve? You have 7,085, eating up 53% of your total revenue. In your staff establishment, are you saying you need 10,000 or you say you need 5,000? Because if you have a staff establishment that requires 10,000 people, then for you to implement it, the problem is going to get worse. So this is a question that I think CEC level, governor level, it's a question that you must be able to address. What is your ideal number of employees as per your staff establishment? Is that staff establishment appended here? Because it was a substantive audit query. Recruitment without approved staff establishment.
It was not put, I think it has not been put. Yeah.
So it means that that matter is unaddressed. Because the auditor had queried that you didn't have a staff establishment, it had not been approved, but in your response you're saying you have it. So if you have it, then that figure must be there. Now, Governor, you know, now you need to crack the whip. Because we know you. You have been with us for 5 years. Someone should not make you look like you don't know what you're doing. That information, there must be someone you're employing. There's someone you're paying a salary to have that information. Because I know you're at CEO, you might not have the specifics. Who's that person you're paying a salary to know these things?
County Secretary, can you say something?
County Secretary, you are being paid a salary to have this information. Tell us, what is your ideal staff complement as per your approved staff establishment?
Put on the
it's not on?
Okay. Chair, thank you so much. We have a staff establishment. When I came in office last year, we didn't have one, and this matter was actually recurring. We went and we worked on it. The document came to the cabinet, was approved. We have 7,800. The
7,800 or 7,085?
7,085. But as we speak now, because of the issues that are coming up, for example, from the courts, where the court has now ruled in favor of the casuals, and that is around 463. Now we are having excess numbers because the court has directed us to employ them.
No, that's not a problem.
Yes.
That's not a problem. As per your staff establishment, what is your ideal number?
It's around 7,800.
Around.
Are you saying something that is verifiable? You know, if you don't have it, you just tell us you don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have the exact figure now, because what we were doing was we were looking at every department, what is the optimal number. Like, for example, health, we have the numbers. So I don't have the breakdown to sum all of them so that we have the exact number to tell this committee at the moment.
As the head of the county public service, isn't it alarming that you do not know your ideal county public service?
That's an oversight, Chair. I think I will familiarize myself with the total numbers from all the departments now.
Yeah, I think in your role, that's a number you should be working with everywhere you go.
Chair,
Senator Rake?
So you are saying sometimes last year you did staff establishment, but the year under review, you employed 642 without staff establishment. What were your basis that you are doing this employment, yet you have indicated on record that you had already through the cabinet the approval of staff establishment? So who are these 642? Is it part of the people who are casuals? Because, Chair, if you look at in the report, that there were 694 employees serving on probation for a long period, up to 20 years. So these 642, were they new ones, or was an addition of 694 employees who are uncasual? Number one. Number two, what was the basis of the court order that you got? And then number three, this staff establishment and segregation of staff. These 7,085, Chair, are they in permanent and pensionable terms, or the others who are on casual? If you can answer those three questions, Chair, did we not? And finally, maybe the MCA's with this staff establishment, when you did the audit, were you able to see this document? Because it's just a document that should be provided. Chair, I yield back.
Fine, you can have very quick responses so that we can go to projects.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. The number that we have given, that is 7,085, it comprises both those on permanent and those ones also who are on contract. Now, the numbers that we employed last year, those were also casuals who had worked for several years, especially in the Department of Health. And my Honorable Senator, our colleague, is very much briefed to this matter. So that figure was more of regularization because they were also casuals. The other casuals, the 463, those ones were casuals who were working in the defunct system, and therefore they went to court in 2013, and the case has tracked on until it was finalized this year, and that is why we are bringing them on board. So those are the two categories of casuals that we are referring to.
Now, honorable members, there was a payroll audit that was done by the Office of the Auditor General. OAG, can you confirm that it covered Bungoma County?
Yes, it covered Bungoma County, Honorable Chair.
We had agreed as a committee that all counties whose wage bill was above 50%, we were going to conduct an inquiry so that we deal with the specific issues, we get to the bottom of the problems, and we find out from the counties if there is any intervention that they need from the Senate. I want to propose that all these HR issues, even though we are going to consider the written responses, we are going to make specific recommendations, but Bungoma will be on the list of the counties that will appear before this committee to go through the payroll audit by the Office of the Auditor General. So I think the HR issues here some of them we have already covered. Employment of staff on contract without gratuity provision. I think that was the 549 million that we were talking about earlier. So I think that would be the direction. We'll take the written responses, make our recommendations, but have a specific meeting to address the payroll audit. Governor, again, the auditor is citing failure to provide monthly progress reports of procurement contracts. The person you pay a salary to provide monthly progress report, who is that person? We have moved to failure to provide monthly progress reports of all procurement contracts. Who is the person who's paid a salary in Bungoma to provide monthly progress reports?
It's the Director of Procurement.
Is the Director of Procurement here?
He's not in.
And I believe the Director of Procurement is a member of the Institute of Supply Chain.
Yes.
So why would someone be a member of a professional body if they cannot execute such small things? I think on this, Auditor General, did they subsequently prepare it, or it's still a problem?
They did, but those reports are again incomplete because they don't have the required information.
We shall be citing the Director Supply Chain for professional negligence, but not just for professional negligence. I'm sure that there are offences under the Act, and I'm sure this is one of them. So that one, I think, Governor, we have moved to a new regime where we are not just blaming the governor. We are putting the blame right where it belongs. Because if someone was to provide a procurement monthly progress report and is being paid a salary for it and is not doing it, and you are doing nothing about him, then you have to do something about him. But don't wait for us to be the ones to initiate action. So there will be recommending administrative action, professional action, or sanction, as well as the provisions of the Act as far as offences are concerned. Project implementation status report, again, this looks like a procurement issue. Is that a procurement issue, or that was, who's responsible for this? Chief Officer Finance?
Chair, it's the Director Procurement and Director Budget.
So again, Director Procurement is on this. We will look at what you have responded and take a view. Payment for subscription to other entities. This is an old problem. It was there when the governor was our speaker. We have a standard recommendation.
Provisions of
We're asked to support
as far as
economic
offences are
blocks.
concerned.
We just want to
Project
ensure that
implementation
when we are
status
sending
report,
public
again,
money
this looks like a
to these
procurement
institutions, there is a clear legal
Is that a
framework.
procurement issue, or
And,
that was,
you recall that
who's
the then
responsible for
Senator
this? Chief Officer
Nyamuka
Finance?
had proposed a law on regional economic
Chair,
blocks.
it's the Director
We
Procurement
understand the
and
value
Director
of these
Budget.
blocks, but
So again,
we
Director
must apply the
Procurement
law as
is
it
on
is.
this. We will look at
Honourable
what
members,
you have responded
we consider the written
and take a
responses,
view. Payment for
but I do not
subscription
think
to
that
other
there's anything
entities.
that can explain
This is an old
that
problem.
kind of expenditure.
It was there when the governor
Unexplained
was
procurement and distribution of fertilizer.
we have a standard recommendation.
Here we have a problem.
We're asked to support as far as offences are concerned. We just project implementation status report. Again, this looks like a procurement issue.
There is a clear legal
Is that a procurement
Honorable
issue?
Chair,
That was, you recall that
this fertilizer was supposed to have been sold
Chief
at a rate
Officer
of
Finance
2,000
had
per bag,
proposed a law
but it was
on
given free of charge.
It's the
And
Director
that 2,000 was provided for under Finance Act.
But so again,
2023.
Director of Procurement is on this. We will look at what
And management has indicated that there was a policy.
payment for subscription to other entities. This is an old problem. It was there when the governor was we have a standard recommendation.
We can dispense with them as efficiently as
We just project
but this one you said was an
report.
issue.
Again,
Yes,
this looks
read
like
the
a
final
procurement issue.
This one, let's go.
Is that a
Let's
procurement
be-
issue? That was you recall that
This fertilizer was
Let's
supposed to have been
simplify
sold
and then
at
we
a
get
rate
to
of
the
2,000
had
per bag.
proposed
Okay,
But it
thank
was
you, Chair.
given free of charge.
It's the
And
Director
Unexplained procurement of procurement and distribution of fertilizer. The county executive awarded a contract to a local company on 17th December 2024 at a sum of Kenya shillings 15 million 452,200 for the supply of planting and top dressing fertilizers to the 45 wards, and the payment was made on 22nd March 2025 for Kenya shillings 26 million. The fertilizer was delivered in the financial year 2024-25. Additionally, the county executive awarded a contract to a local farm on 18th February 2025 at a sum of Kenya shillings 56,250,000 for the supply of planting and top dressing fertilizers for the 45 wards. Review of the Bungoma County Finance Act 2023 indicated that the subsidized fertilizer was to be sold at Kenya shillings 2,000 per bag for planting fertilizer and top dressing fertilizer. However, no supporting documents were provided for audit to confirm that the fertilizer was sold at the recommended price of Kenya shillings 2,000 per bag or distributed to the farmers free of charge. In the circumstances, the county executive may have lost public funds in respect of expected revenue from the sale of subsidized fertilizer. Thank you.
Governor,
We're saying to enhance food security to all residents of the county. Free farming foods were issued local vulnerable farmers as provided in the Attack Bungoma County Agriculture Sector Policy issued in October 2023. Additionally, management has submitted Bungoma County Agricultural Input and Service Support Bill 2024 to the County Assembly that provides a legal framework on distribution of farming foods. Attached is a letter of submission of the bill
17A. I do not have the bill. So perhaps maybe, unless it is just my copy that was...
No, it's not there. They're just placeholders.
Chair, we had shared the soft copy with the OAG.
Were you not aware you are coming to the Senate? If you've responded and brought the attention of the Senate to Appendix 17A and 17B, does it mean that we are just, we are not useful in this session? The OAG did their bit. They've done their audit. It is now in the hands of Parliament. That should never be an explanation brought before the Senate. Governor, you may need to guide your team.
Also, Chair, in my understanding of what the query was is that the OAG is telling us they don't know whether this fertilizer was given for free or sold. That you have to show something. You have to give something to show what happened to this fertilizer, because it's a lot of money. 56 plus 26, that's almost 82 million.
Through the chair, as Senator Sifuna gives his opinion, it's also prudent to find out. Government has been procuring cheap or affordable fertilizer to farmers across the country. Is what national government providing different from what we procure to give for free? And what informs us to procure what we have done and not tapping into the wide resource of government to import more at a cheaper price and give more to the people of Bungoma? Thank you.
Senator Chirake?
In addition, let me pick it up from where the area senator has left. I thought, Governor, the government through national subsidy program on fertilizer, and you know he has more authority because he's also the chair of agriculture like you, is through National and Cereals Produce Board. But when I see that you are using a local company, because we are paying 2,500 for subsidized. So does it mean they subsidize from 7,000 to 2,500? So does it mean, how do you procure on this? Number two, you have said there is a bill. Have you ascended it now into law, or is it still a bill? Then on the issue of the rejection, I think I've heard you say that the Finance Act of 2023 and 2024, you have just given us that there is a forwarding letter of a bill to the county assembly, but you have not given us an assentment, because you are the one who should ordinarily assent this finance bill into the act. So question one, this procurement from an independent instead of National Cereals and Produce Board. Number two, is this bill an act now? And number three, you assented to this bill fully aware that you had indicated that you wanted to subsidize and sell it at 2,000 to farmers. And then finally, Chair, this list of farmers on 45 wards, how many are they? Were you giving a household or individual farmer? You know, there is a difference between the household and individual farmer. And you saw what happens to the seedling story of Mandera, where we were being told everything that is planted across the Dawa River was provided for county, but when it came out, it was not direct beneficiary to the farmers. So is it to the households or individual farmers, and how many are they in this across 45 wards, Chair?
Okay.
Because
Governor, I think the point is made. Senator Akoli, let's make them brief.
Just, and the list as requested or asked by Senator Cheragay of farmers, have you ever done a forensic look at the list to confirm that the lists that are being forwarded to you as beneficiaries are the true beneficiaries of the fertilizer, or they are conduits, at least just written for purposes of receiving fertilizer and benefiting somebody who is taking advantage of the process? Thank you.
Governor?
Thank you. I think to start with, we moved from maybe the last financial year, we bought from government to government at 2,000. So we didn't give to a private, after the audit was done, we didn't give now this time to a private supplier. It was government to government, National Cereals Board. The lists that we normally have vetting committees at all the ward, in all the wards, which includes the MCA, it includes the ward administrators, and all the other stakeholders who come up with a list of the beneficiaries, the vulnerable people. And we verify and confirm that those are vulnerable people, and people can even see it's normally public participation before the fertilizer is given out. So I think that list, expected that the agriculture people should have forwarded the list. Okay, did you forward the list of the beneficiaries, because it should be there, and I'm sure that it's there. Why it was not provided for, I don't know. You can explain that, Mani.
Yes. If you allow me, Chair, at the time of audit, the list was reviewed, and that query was dropped. The component of failure to provide was dropped because the list was reviewed. So what remains is to authority to issue it for free.
No, we would want to get that assurance as a Senate, because the amounts involved, the 82 million, is approximately 41,000 bags. If you assume it's 2,000 per bag, it comes to about 41,000. Members, it is for us to make recommendations on what the governor must do, but the fact is there was a Finance Act of 2023 that required the fertilizer to be paid for. The fertilizer was not paid for.
To be sold.
Yes, to be sold at 2,000. That was an act of the county assembly. It is lawful, and I think what you are required to do was to abide by it, or if it's impractical, to amend it. So it was not amended, so the law stands.
So are you saying we made a mistake to give free fertilizer to vulnerable people of Bungoma?
Because you signed a law, and all the laws of the county are signed by the governor. You, Governor Lusaka, signed a law saying you will give out fertilizer at a subsidized rate of 2,000. You signed it. We're just asking you to abide by the law that you signed.
Can an executive order overrule?
You cannot overrule the county assembly through an executive order.
Okay. Otherwise, Governor, there would be no need to bring a bill before the assembly. You should just have done it from the initial stages.
You have been the Speaker of the Senate, the upper house.
Of course.
And you know, if you were to go by executive orders, a lot of things would not have happened the way they happened in the past.
Anyway, I get your point, but we gave free fertilizer to our people. Maybe I told you when we took the other bill, the GNC issue came up. You remember, even the national one failed. It will not take off, and we also became casualties of the same. But I understand we will amend so that we continue giving free fertilizer or free inputs to the vulnerable groups. Sure.
County Assembly, how do you feel when your laws are treated as suggestions that can be reversed by executive order?
And maybe as the MCA comes, they can also confirm whether they saw that fertilizer in their wards, because that's about 1,000 bags per ward.
It was 500 per ward.
I was using the chair's math. 41,000 bags divided by 45 wards.
What I'm telling you, Honorable Senator, is exactly what we gave. 21,900 benefited. Of course, it was 500 per ward times 45 wards in Bungoma.
Okay, we'll relate that to the numbers before us. Honorable Member?
Thank you, Chair. I confirm that actually the 45 wards, each ward was receiving 500 bags of 500 bags of top dresser fertilizer, and planting fertilizer also 500, and also seeds were given to the farmers. And in this regard, I want to also confirm that in regard to what Honorable Senator Sifuna has said, the fertilizer was given to specific farmers. Actually, when we are doing vetting, we don't do vetting in regard to the maybe families, but we look at the specific farmers. Then there are some things we look at, maybe if somebody has land or doesn't have land, to go utilize that using our village admins. So that is what actually happened.
Address yourself to the law that you passed.
In regard to the law that we we passed at the assembly, actually the fertilizer was supposed to be sold at 2,000 shillings to the farmers, but eventually the tradition was there, it was being given for free. So
when you're writing the law, the tradition was not there?
No, it was there. Initially, they were giving it for free, but later on, we passed the law at the assembly. But at the time of giving, after recruitment, it was given to the farmers. It was provided by the county government and given to the farmers for free.
Does it concern you that you have passed a law and the executive is not following the law?
Yes.
Or does it concern you that you have passed a law that is at odds with
as an assembly
with what the public needs?
Yes, it does, Honorable Chair, and that's why we really need to do that amendment so that you see, this fertilizer is meant to benefit our farmers who are not able to sustain themselves, and it has really worked good for the people of Bungoma County. The only thing we need to do as an assembly is to get that amendment, then we amend the law so that when we are giving fertilizer this year, we do it in accordance to the law so that this query again doesn't appear.
Is it a case of us mourning more than the bereaved? Because it is their law that is offended, but it does not seem to be worried. But Senator Wakoli,
thank you, Chair. Maybe you can, Honorable.
You can have a seat.
I wanted to ask this: when this law was made to pay 2,000 shillings, was public participation conducted so that the public approves that they must pay for services they are going to enjoy, so that it translated into pay, doing the same? And if you're going to reverse, are you going back to the public to say, forgive us for not doing what you wanted, allow us to amend so that you continue having it for free? Number two, in the Agriculture Committee, we have been pressing and requesting county governments to have a register of farmers, certified register of farmers, so that when you give subsidy fertilizers or any farm inputs, they must be in the database of the county government. Does the county government of Bungoma have a database of farmers so that at any click of a button, last year, the other year, Senator Sifuna can key in Wanyonyi, Wepohulu, Nasipondi, ID number flani, then it pops up to say he is from Nakoyonjo, this village, 10 bags, 4 acres. Thank you.
Chair, my concern was, Governor, I can understand why someone would make an argument for all the wards to receive the same amount of fertilizer, but those wards are not the same. Now I'm sitting here thinking about East Sangalo, for instance, or West Sangalo. Why would you give the same number of bags for West Sangalo and East Sangalo, which are basically agricultural counties, and give Township Ward the same amount of fertilizer?
Chair, in fact, we have had that consideration where we said instead of giving fertilizer to, say, Township, they opted for trade loans. But at some point, again, the MCS came up and said, no, we also deserve to get fertilizer. Where we take it is not your problem. So
that is the problem, Governor.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. And we are all here. No, let us not act like we don't live in this country or in a ward. That was the situation. They said, give us the fertilizer. And if an MC says, give me my share of my fertilizer, as a ward, I'm going to plant, they can do whatever.